Okay, so I am going to demonstrate how to draw a couch in perspective and something on the wall. So I am going to create my couch on this side. You can also do it on the opposite side. It is up to you. So that is what we are going to do. So I am going to start with a basic rectangle. I'm going to just kind of decide where I want it. Basic rectangle shape here. So I'm going to start with that. And then I'm going to take my corners back to my vanishing point like we've done in practice. And we are going to kind of have this giant base for our couch. Do it this way. And definitely remember to draw lightly. You know, even with setting all of this up, a lot of these lines are going to be erased. So don't stress about this too much. It's basically like a guideline more than anything to get your object in perspective. So I have this floating rectangle-like shape here. I'm going to decide where the couch is going to end. I think I'm going to have it be more of like a love seat and have it end kind of right where the floor is. So like we did with our cube practice, I put the top and the side on it, so then I've got my base shape here. I'm going to erase some of these lines here to avoid confusion. So this is the original room line that we drew. I'm going to erase that so I don't get confused by what line is what. Same with these lines here, just for now. I'm going to erase these. You can always put them back in. As long as you don't erase the vanishing point or forget where it is, you can always add some guidelines back in later. Okay. So I've got this very bland looking base to my couch right now. You can add little kind of feet to it if you would like. You do not have to. You can have it just sit flat. The next we're going to kind of do is kind of create where our armrest is going to be and then the back of the couch. So I'm going to have the armrest kind of come up. It's not going to go the full length here. I'm going to have it a little shorter than the couch itself. I'm just sketching out some lines. And I'm going to make this not a perfect rectangle. I'm going to kind of have it slope down a bit. But I'm still going to take those corners back to the vanishing point. And remember, this is really mostly a guideline more than anything. So just keep that in mind when you're creating. Don't get too stressed about what it's going to look like at the end. We're going to kind of just try and make sure we're creating a outline more than anything. So I made a line back there similar to this line here to set up my armrest on the opposite side. So I actually have to So I made a line, show you here. So I made a line right next to it and right next to it. So that is going to be my armrest. Again, I just kind of carved these out very simple. Actually, see, erasers are the best. I'm gonna erase some of these lines, not all of them, just to get an idea of where things are supposed to be. So for this back one here, since we can see this side of things, I need to create another line to see where that ends. So I close that off here. I'm going to erase that dark one I had in the back because we wouldn't be able to see through this armrest. Okay, and then we still need to put the back on this couch, so that is kind of the last step here. I'm going to decide how tall I want this couch. I think I'm going to have it go to about here. Line there and bring it to the vanishing point to set up the back of the couch. So right now this is a very boxy couch, so I'm gonna first off close off where the end would be. I'm gonna kind of start to curve it out a little bit to see a little bit more softness to it. So I'm gonna have the back of my couch curve a little bit, and there's going to be the cushion. You'll see I used that original line, but then I softened it up by going over it again lightly to kind of soften it up there. And same thing I'm going to do with this edge here for the armrest. I'm going to round this up a little bit too. So I didn't change the overall shape, I just kind of softened it a little by adding some curved lines. Alright, so I still have a bunch of guidelines in here making this look awkward. So I'm going to go ahead and erase some of them. I'm actually going to erase those. And I'm going to erase this top one here. Because you wouldn't see that line exactly when you're on the couch. Just like you really wouldn't see this one. Or this one. So I'm trying to piece this back together from my original guidelines. So this harsh line is going to go away. We're going to have my couch cushion kind of cover that up to create that shape. So again, not the prettiest couch in the world, but that's the overall shape. You can add, like cushions here. I can soften these edges a bit. Round it up by just adding some curved lines. And then one more thing I wanted to show you was how to put something on the wall. This is probably the more simple of the things you can do. So first I'm going to create a door by making a line there. And since my door would go all the way to the floor there. And keep in mind, with perspective, things that are in the front of the room, closest to the bottom of the page, are going to be larger than things further away. So here's my door. Nothing fancy. And then I'm going to show you how to draw something smaller on. I'm going to have it a little lower. So I'm going to create more of like a window or a picture frame here. Made two simple lines. And then I'm closing them up. So that could be a window, you know, could be a TV, could be a picture frame, up to you. But that is kind of how you would set it up to be on the wall itself. So those are two other handy things you can include in your room.